Well, I would make a reference to what already obtains in other. It's not like comparing the new presentation to a religion or anything like that, of that nature. Well, every whatever has its tenets uh, that those who adhere to that body look up to. So, if someone asks you what are the tenets of main tenets of the new presentation, so that is like the tenets will be like some of the guiding. I don't want to use that word, principles or something like that. So, uh, what are we supposed to outline as the main tenets of the new presentation, as espoused by the wonderful worldwide educators, Duane?
You said that excellent, Charles. Thank you. It's very simple, okay? It's not rocket science. We support the all-natural environment that supports us, okay? And life is an isness. It already is. Everything's available for everybody. Everybody decides their life because we're all in the same life. It's really very simple, isn't it? You don't have to say a whole lot more. And from there, there's plenty of material to read and to better, for each individual to better define, you know, what they've experienced so far so they can kind of figure this out piece by piece. You have to do that just like going to school. You figure things out piece by piece. If you're into a career or something, you do it a step at a time, like becoming a doctor. There's a lot of pieces with that, so you can't take it all at once. And so the same thing is with us, and that is that we support the all-natural environment supporting us. And that is in reference to the whole of life. It's just I've presented it a little bit different so that the literal mind in some way can grasp it, you see? So the old saying is like something like, well, all life is one. You can say that, but it's like, well, what the heck is that? What does that mean? And for the most part, when people hear that idea, what are they looking to? Creation. So I'm kind of sneaking in there the all-natural environment, which is everything. But, most people will think that it's, just nature or something like that, or the earth. But it's not. As they go along and start singing the new you, this is where the guides come in and start giving them experiences, showing them that there's more, and then at some point the person recognizes, oh my gosh, now I see what he's saying. Now I see what he's referring to. You see? So we've come quite a ways from the old spiritual ideas. And remember, when Paul was here, he was to start off with this, and he just simply culminated what already existed here. That's all. And he better defined it and had huge resistance also. But it was his focus, okay, and what his intent was, and his true reference. His true reference was the isness, but he used the spiritual and God idea and soul idea. Okay, it's not that you have a soul, but you are soul. Okay, he used all these things that people had already knew, but he moved them a particular way to where it was a little bit different enough, to where it was easy for people to kind of make the transition from what they had known for lifetimes. But now with the new nowness, because they hinted at the isness, the boys hinted at the isness, no, these things are a reference of what we don't need, just like all the rules and regulations and restrictions and authorities. That's all. But we don't get rid of them. We just see what we don't need, as opposed to this endless isness that life is, that, hey, it's everything. But it needs to be recognized. It's not literal. But we do use the literal faculties as we create something in reference to it. Yes, you got to figure it out a little bit. Okay. Yes, it is. So it's like building that car just to move forward, but there's a lot of parts to it. But eventually you get to where you built the car and hey, you put it in drive and it moves forward. Just one simple thing, just all those parts to get this vehicle, this piece of machinery, this metal and tires to move forward. Yeah, it took all those pieces, didn't it? Well, that's what it takes for you to eventually recognize the isness, but that's the best part. But number one, life is survival. This is all the is sees. Survival for itself. That makes sense because if it doesn't survive, there's nothing. So it's only focused on survival. And it's looking for those individuals that want to stand real with it to survive better also, you see? Yeah, it's very interesting how it is. And you can't even consider that view, but that just kind of gives you an idea of what it is. Here on the earth, there's no real survival, it's just struggle. All you do is constantly struggle. There's no freedom, it's all implied. These are cute ideas. You hear stories. This is how it is in creation. And it will always be so. You can never get what reality is from creation. You can only use it as a reference to what is not real. That's very cool how that's stated. And so again, because everyone else on the earth with all their ideas and the systems that have been created, they're constantly reaffirming creation, you see, and keeping people in it because they keep agreeing. So now people want to be free of this and they're confused. Gee, how do I do it? Well, I get it. So that's where you become the risk taker, but it's available to figure it out. That's the best part. Yeah, little by little. So there you go, Charles.
Yeah, Duane, luckily this call has been recorded because that was a very comprehensive answer that about what we are doing that you've put together in one place for in a very concise manner for people to understand when they come to the new presentation what its focus. I think maybe writing to on the Facebook groups and all the like will go a long way because people seem to be confused, you know. But from what you've stated, it's a big departure from the traditional, the established trends of thought out there, and people should actually know this when they dabble with the new presentation, what it is about. I think this is very focal what you've said, and it needs to go out there to everyone who wants to know more about what the new presentation is, and I think it's a very deep answer, very succinct.
Well, here is where people that have time can be creative, and this is one way, is just take the Skypes here and write them out and put them into
Yes.
format and create their own book. And it can be, Kevin Smith, takes down what the Skypes are and make a book on Lulu, etc. It doesn't matter. Yeah, and reference too. So yeah. So I really like it. It's taken me quite a while to figure this out. Paul too, when he went through what he did, it took him quite a while to figure out. As you go through this experience in this life and from many lifetimes, how to at the present moment present this to the world. Yes, how do you do this? Because there's so much going on. And it took me a while too, through all the experiences that I had and all the years, etc. And yeah, you can have experience. That's fine. But how do you bring it around to where there is a real focus and a real connection to this true reality? Yeah. How do you do that more so than just sound good ideas and stories to where it really works. The world is full of that. You look at all these spiritual paths, religious, it doesn't even matter, you know. Where is their real connection? Well, you can see it on the real side. They're really basically nowhere. Physical astral, that's cute. You know, they've got maybe some of the astral light, which is really knowledge. That's all it is. When people close their eyes and see the light, it's basically the knowledge that they're seeing comes in as light, etc., and then becomes knowledge for their intellect because the mind and brain is a receiver. And so to understand this, because we haven't been taught this in school, so we got to figure it out, and it sounds kind of like hocus pocus at first. But yes, you know, just anybody can just take these Skypes and whatever part of it, I'm not saying verbatim, edit it a little bit, of course. You know, when Paul wrote his books, he had people editing it. So it's all kind of formulated a particular way in the English language, and I don't always say things correct. I didn't like English in school. I faked my way through it, etc. And so, but I like to creatively write things in my own particular way, and I know there's not a lot of agreement. But again, it's not about that. It's not about how I write correct English or not. It's about what I'm referring to. You know, it's kind of like little children, you know, that can be sitting on their rear out there in the park, and they point up at the sky and say, "Look, Mommy." But Mommy doesn't look, you know, and the little baby sees, you know, a bird or a UFO or something, and Mommy looks up there. It's like, okay, whatever, you know. But again, it's not about the proper English or way to say things. It's about what is being referred to. That becomes the difference. And I'm just having my adventure doing this. This is what it's all about. It's not about me. It's not the old master and guru days. This is all silly stuff. We've been through that. So we all do our part. So anybody can take this and have fun with it. Everybody can do it. Yeah, have fun with it and make a book out of it. Put your name on it. It's fine. Get it out there. Take on the adventure. And the real guides will be there for you. They will stand real with you if you're sincere. And it's all about the whole of life. And you can even make money on it if you wanted to. Fine. Do whatever. But it's the intent. It's sincere intent. Yes. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, Duane, thank you for that guidance on what to do. I think I'm looking forward to doing something in that direction, because there's a lot that is said, there's a lot that is buried in these talks, in these interviews, and what we have on Facebook. If we can collect them, put them in an would I say orderly manner in a book. In fact, it will make a lot of interesting reading. For this is the real guidance you're giving out here, the real guidance and real education, which ultimately leads to real freedom. And people should be able to have this, because you bring out these views, you know, in various episodes. Is like that, which when put together will really be something very wonderful, because they seem to be scattered now.